When we think about workplace safety, our minds usually jump to a list of rules, right? Don't do this, wear that. But what if I told you that true effective safety isn't just about rules? What if it's a system, a living, breathing process that's designed to protect everyone every single day? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
And it all starts with this simple, really powerful idea. This classic poster from OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, just lays it all out there. A safe workplace. It's not just a nice perk. It's a fundamental, legal right for every single employee, and it's a core responsibility for every employer, period.
So that brings up the big question, doesn't it? How do you actually make a place safe and keep it that way? Is it really just about slapping a poster on the wall and hoping for the best? Or is there a smarter way to do it? A system that's working behind the scenes to make safety a reflex, not just an afterthought.
To really get that system, we've got to take a step back. Let's get to the very core of it. Why do we even have these things called Occupational Safety and Health Standards, or OSH? What is the fundamental goal here?
It's actually beautifully simple and so important. The whole point, the entire reason these programs exist, is to keep people from getting hurt. It's about stopping accidents before they happen, preventing illnesses caused by work, and making absolutely sure that everyone goes home at the end of the day in the exact same condition they arrived in. That's the mission.
Okay, so how do we pull that mission off reliably? Not through wishful thinking or just plain luck, but by design. And this is where we make the leap from just having safety rules to having a safety system.
And that system has a name, an Occupational Safety and Health Management System, or OSMS for short. Now, this is the key thing to get. This is not some dusty rule book that sits on a shelf. It's a living framework. Think of it as an organized way for a company to handle risks, make sure they're following the law, and, this is the most important part, to always be looking for ways to get better.
So to make this feel a bit more real, let's get out of the clouds of theory. We're going to look at a specific, real-world example from Malaysia, the MS 1722 standard. This is going to give us a solid model for how these systems are actually built and what they do in the real world.
Now, a system is just an idea without people to run it. And a massive part of any successful safety plan is getting everyone involved in the conversation. So let's talk about the key group that makes that happen, the Safety and Health Committee.
See, what I love about this image is the interaction. It's not one person talking at everyone else. It perfectly captures the spirit of this whole thing. An OSH system is a partnership. It's about bringing management and workers to the same table to tackle safety as a team.
And really, the main job of this committee is to open up those lines of communication. It's there to make sure that concerns from people on the factory floor can get to management, and that safety plans from the top are crystal clear to everyone. It has to be a two-way street.
So, is having one of these committees just a nice thing to do, or is it actually a requirement? At what point does a company legally have to set up a formal safety and health committee?
40. That's the magic number, at least under the Malaysian standard we're looking at. As soon as a workplace hits 40 employees, that safety committee stops being a good idea and becomes a legal requirement. It's a really clear line in the sand that says, okay, it's time to get collaborative.
And here's how that committee is built to make sure it's fair. The employer gets to appoint the chairman and the secretary, but look closely at the representatives. It's perfectly balanced on purpose. It doesn't matter if the company has 50 employees or 500. There has to be an equal minimum number of reps from management and from the workers. It's a brilliant design, really, because it means no single group can just steamroll the conversation.
Okay, so we've got the people. We have the committee. But how does this system actually work? What's the engine that keeps safety moving forward day after day? Well, as you're about to see, it's not a straight line. It's a really powerful, continuous cycle.
This diagram right here, this is the heart of the whole OSH management system. Just look at the arrows. It's a loop. It's always moving, always repeating. The goal isn't to finish safety and check a box. The goal is to be in a constant state of improvement.
So this cycle is built on 5 key parts. It all kicks off with policy. That's where you lay the foundation and state the company's commitment. Then you organize your people and resources. Next up, you plan and implement your actual safety procedures on the ground. Then comes a super important step, evaluation, where you check to see what's working and what's not. And finally, you take action for improvement, using what you learn to make the whole system better, which, you guessed it, feeds right back into the beginning.
Let's just zoom in on step 1 for a second. A policy isn't just fluffy language. This right here is an actual safety policy from a real company. It's written down, it's dated, and it's signed. It makes specific promises like preventing injuries and following the law. This document is the bedrock that everything else is built on.
So after you've organized your teams, planned everything out, and checked how it's going, you get to what might just be the most important step of all. Step 5. This is what makes the whole system so smart. Action for improvement is where the system learns. It takes in all the data, incident reports, feedback from employees, performance reviews, and uses it to evolve. This is the step that keeps safety from ever getting stale.
You know, if this whole cycle looks kind of familiar, you're not wrong. This whole process is a perfect example of the classic Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle, or PDCA. It's a time-tested model used everywhere for driving improvement, and it just happens to be perfectly applied to safety right here.
All right. We've looked at the law, we've seen the committee, and we've walked through the 5-step improvement cycle. So let's pull all these pieces together and talk about what this means for you, for me, for everyone in a workplace.
So if you're going to walk away from this with just a few key ideas, let them be these. First, real safety is an intentional system, not just a catchy slogan. Second, it absolutely has to be a partnership. It needs active collaboration to work. Third, it's a living thing, a continuous loop of getting better, not a task you can just finish. And finally, none of it works without that solid foundation of a clear written policy.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Think about your own workplace. Is safety there just a poster on the wall? Is it a list of rules, or is it a living system? Can you actually see that cycle of policy, planning, checking, and improving in action? It's a really good question to ask.